At Atlas Valuation, we approach the appraisal process differently. For us, it's not about being the biggest. Instead, we take pride in providing the very best to our chosen clients and emphasize delivering a superior borrower experience, unrivaled service, competitive pricing, and prompt delivery. To learn more, visit atlasvms.com or call or click on the banner below this video.
Welcome to today's special edition of Friday's Food for Thought. We have an interview for you. But first, let me ask, what if there was a tool that allowed a traditional or forward mortgage professional to quickly determine if a homeowner would qualify for a reverse mortgage, but even better, they could find out just how much they could be compensated? Well, there is now. During the normal annual meeting, which was last month, there was quite a bit of buzz about Reverse Market Insights Reverse Qualifier, and this is a groundbreaking new technology. So to learn a little bit more, we have RMI founder John Lunde and Director of Client Relations, John McCue. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Let's begin with what led you to create the Reverse Qualifier and also the timing of its release.
Yeah, well, Shannon, thanks for having us on here. We're very excited about Reverse Qualifier. You know, it's really a new and different step for us, but it is a pretty clear extension of things we've already been doing for a lot of clients for a number of years. And really the goal was to, as we look across the industry, and we've been having conversations with clients for years now, how do we grow the industry? How do we get, more volume flowing, serve more customers, all of those key things. To us, it seemed very clear that there's an opportunity to broaden the distribution and help get the product in front of more both loan officers and companies, but also just get it in front of more potential borrowers and customers. So for us, we thought about how can we help that? How can we help our clients expand their own distribution? And a lot of untapped potential, and some of the success we've seen with some clients has been about getting the reverse product and some familiarity with reverse to the forward loan officers and forward distribution channels. So what we looked at is, hey, can we bring together some of our core capabilities into one tool where we can very easily answer the big three deal breaker questions for the reverse mortgage. Number one, does this loan work, right? Number two, what's the benefit for the borrower? And number three, what's the execution? What's the revenue look like for the originator? And, by really bringing together all three of those things in a very simple tool that, again, under a minute, you get an answer to all three questions. You can simply understand and present that. We think goes a long way toward helping expand distribution for us. So yeah, very excited about this and seeing some great results so far and some good interest and action towards how to roll this out with clients already. So NERMLA was great and really excited about as the year is ending, but also obviously 2026 and beyond too.
Is there any particular kind of lender you see as an ideal candidate for the reverse qualifier? For example, a reverse mortgage division that's part of a larger traditional mortgage footprint?
We think it works on a number of different strategies. We've seen success with some clients who have that kind of a footprint, right? Where it's a reverse team inside of a primarily forward shop. And the industry has seen great success in a number of those cases. So that's certainly something we think we can help supercharge. But I think it also works, if somebody is a single loan officer and they're the reverse expert in their local area, they probably know other mortgage loan officers who aren't as expert on the reverse side. And, hey, maybe there's an opportunity to work together there. So I think there's a number of different ways this could end up playing out. For us, it was really about, hey, let's try to keep very clear about the mission and the goal of what we're trying to do. And then we'll absolutely be learning and working with clients to help adapt and evolve as this moves forward. Yeah, so it's built really for either of those scenarios, right? And the idea being, hey, let's very simply and easily and try to make this as approachable as possible, even if you don't know a ton about reverse. So we've got a lot of tooltips that are, kind of translating things into a little bit more, I'll call it generic, but really like forward. Forward is the standard language or the mortgage industry. So we really are trying to translate and educate at the same time in terms of what is some of these different terms that are specific to reverse mean. But with always with a focus on getting to those three basic answers very quickly and seeing, hey, is there something here that we should be continuing to move on or again, as you kind of dig a little deeper, you see, okay, maybe I can refine the approach and the actual product solution for this particular customer borrower. That's where I think having the revenue, the execution side included here really just opens a new door that wasn't really possible before because at the end of the day, it's really hard to know what the best loan is for a specific customer and their goals until you know how to balance all these objectives, right? Like it's never just about one thing. Otherwise, we could make, millions of loans every year and just lose money on every one if that was the only objective. But, you've got to balance all of the different components here. So again, I think bringing them all together in one place is really powerful. And I don't believe it's been done before. I certainly haven't seen it. And we're pretty excited about how that, continues to move our industry forward and also keeping in mind with the idea of putting this in front of traditional forward mortgage loan officers, they're used to tools that we don't have on the reverse side historically. And so we're asking them to do things that they either don't know how to do or don't see the point of why why they should open up a rate sheet and figure out how to read this weird grid and all the other fun stuff. So trying to simplify a lot of that and really just make it a much more streamlined and user-friendly experience.
Thank you. Can you show us just how the reverse qualifier works?
All right. Yeah, let me take you through a spin of this, Shannon. So the first things that we need to do is just enter in some birth dates. You can actually have multiple birth dates in here. And if we're just trying to get to an answer really quickly, right? I mean, we can enter in just a couple of key features, hit submit scenario. This is pulling back closing costs at the moment. So right, that's what it's doing. So just that fast, we can see that these people qualify for a little over $82,000 with the initial max advance of over $32,000. So we've answered one thing super fast. The next question that we can answer is how do we want to use these different use of proceeds? They said that they needed, $10,000 when we close. So I'm going to place another $72,000 in a line of credit. And then, we want to see what am I going to get paid on this? So if I click the loan revenue tab, pretty much just that fast, we can see whether you're selling to a rate sheet. And so you have a rate sheet price plus your origination, exactly what you're going to make on this loan. Or if you're a closed loan seller, someone who, is sending your loans out to bid, what could I expect to make on this at auction? And so, and then the last one is if you're an HMBS issuer, we actually have a third pricing box that we can also install in there where you can get the full HMBS price as well.
So one of the things that's interesting here, again, by bringing in the revenue side, you might look at that and say, hey, I can skinny my margin and provide a little more benefit to the borrower. Or on the flip side, maybe it gets too skinny and there's not enough revenue in the deal, but there's a different way to structure this, right? So it really brings in that flexibility and that ability to kind of tweak and tune, really optimize the scenario for the borrower while still obviously meeting the business requirements here.
So if I'm understanding this is dynamic pricing in essence.
That's right. So if we go back into loan comparison, and you'll notice so we've got the use of proceeds switched up. So we can go set that again based on this new principal limit, kind of what you're looking to achieve. That's going to change utilization. And then if we go back into the loan revenue tab, we're going to see a different answer because it's a different loan scenario at this point. All of these things are live, right? It's dynamically finding, both the rate sheet side, right? So it's correctly identifying where in the grid you're going to land, for this loan. But even more importantly, and frankly, the thing that is brand new here is we're able to predict what will this loan sell for as a closed loan.
Right.
So depending on what your execution is, really determines kind of where you're at.
And the other things that we can show you is, the full amortization, on this loan as well. And so if you wanted to, show credit line draws, for instance, we could actually show the credit line draws, or if you wanted to show, making payments, we can just put a negative number in there, and so this is actually very impactful because now we're looking at, proceeds from the loan, but how our line of credit is growing. And this is the one that's really important, is what's our net equity, right? There's still equity in the home. Even as we have this loan, even as we're taking draws on this loan or making payments to this loan, we still have equity in this home. And so this is a very powerful piece to all of this.
And that's a wrap of this week's special edition of Friday's Food for Thought. But before you head out for the weekend, be sure to thank our sponsor, Atlas Valuation, by clicking on the banner just below this video. If you haven't done so already, you can learn more how they can help meet your residential appraisal needs. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you here next Friday.
At Atlas Valuation, we approach the appraisal process differently. For us, it's not about being the biggest. Instead, we take pride in providing the very best to our chosen clients and emphasize delivering a superior borrower experience, unrivaled service, competitive pricing, and prompt delivery. To learn more, visit atlasvms.com or call or click on the banner below this video.